Welcome to Mera Class. What's in news? 17 February 2021. Why in news? Recently a chadar was offered on behalf of Prime Minister at the Ajmer Sharif Dargah of Sufi Saint Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti on the occasion of 809th Urs. The Urs festival is an annual festival held at Ajmer in Rajasthan, which commemorates the death anniversary of Sufi Saint Moinuddin Chishti. Key points. About Sufism. Sufism is a mystical form of Islam, a school of practice that focuses on the spiritual search for God and shuns materialism. It is a form of Islamic mysticism which stresses on asceticism. There is a lot of emphasis on devotion towards God. In Sufism, self-discipline is considered an essential condition to gain knowledge of God by sense of perception. Unlike Orthodox Muslims which emphasize on external conduct, the Sufis lay stress on inner purity. Sufis believe service to humanity is tantamount to service to God. Etymology. The term Sufi is probably derived from the Arabic suf word which means one who wears wool. This is because woolen clothes were generally associated with ascetics. Another possible origin of the word is safa which means purity in Arabic. Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. Moinuddin Hassan Chishti was born in Sajistan, modern-day Sistan, in Iran in 1141–42 CE. After Muizzuddin Muhammad bin Sam of Ghor had already defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the Second Battle of Tarain, 1192, and established his rule in Delhi, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti started living and preaching in Ajmer. His instructive discourses, full of spiritual insights, soon drew the local populace as well as kings and nobles and peasants and the poor from far and wide. His shrine in Ajmer has been visited by rulers like Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Sher Shah Suri, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Dara Shukoh and Aurangzeb. Chishti Order, Chishtiya. Chishtiya order was founded in India by Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. It emphasized the doctrine of the unity of being with God, Wahdat al-Wujud, and members of the order were also pacifists. They rejected all material goods as distractions from the contemplation of God. They abstained from connection with the secular state. Recitation of the names of God, both aloud and silently, Dikar Jari, Dikar Kafi, formed the cornerstone of Chishti practice. The Chishti teachings were carried forward and popularized by disciples of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti like Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhi Yarkaki, Fariduddin Ganji Shakar, Nizamuddin Aliya and Nasiruddin Charak. Other major Sufi orders. Shirawardi order. It was founded by Sheikh Shahabuddin Suharwardi Maktal. The Shirawardis, unlike the Chishtis, accepted maintenance grants from the sultans. Naqshbandi order. It was founded by the Khwaja Bahauddin Naqshband. In India, this order was established by Khwaja Bahauddin Naqshbandi. From the beginning, the mystics of this order stressed on the observance of the Shariat. Qadariya order. It was popular in Punjab. Sheikh Abdul Qadir of Badon founded it in the 14th century. They were supporters of the Mughals under Akbar. Maharaja Suheldev. Why in news? The Prime Minister has laid the foundation stone of a Maharaja Suheldev memorial, and the development work of Chittora Lake in Uttar Pradesh's Baraik district. Key points. About Maharaja Suheldev. He was the erstwhile ruler of Sravasti in Uttar Pradesh's Baraik district, who ruled in the 11th century. He is known in history for waging guerrilla warfare against Mahmud Ghazni's large army. Suheldev was deeply moved by the loot and destruction of the magnificent Somnath temple by invader Mahmud Ghazni, that he decided to gather heads of different communities like Tharo and Banjara, as well as small kings to block the invasion. His army defeated and killed Ghazi Salam Masood, the nephew of Mahmud Ghazni, at Baraik. Raja Suheldev finds mention in Mairat-i-Masudi, a 17th-century Persian-language historical account. Mairat-i-Masudi is the biography of Salam Masood, written by Abdur Rahman Chishti during the reign of the Mughal Emperor Jahangir, 1605–1627. In local folklore, Suheldev is said to be a Rajbar. He is popular as a caste icon among the Rajbars, OBC, and the Pazis, second largest Dalit caste in UP, both of whom have been competing for his legacy and are predominantly found in central and eastern UP. Chittora Lake. The Chittora Jheel is located in the Baraik district near the village Chittor in Uttar Pradesh. Tari Nadi, a small river originates from this lake which is a home to many migratory birds. Being a Hindu pilgrimage site, many fairs are held near this lake during Kartik Purnima and Vasant Panchami. There is an ashram where Muni Ashtwarka used to live, and this site also witnessed the epic fight between Ghazi Salim Masud and Raja Suheldev in the year 1033. There is a temple complex with the statue of Raja Suheldev and temple dedicated to goddess Durga situated here. New York Convention. YN News. Recently, Cairn Energy has filed a case, in accordance with the New York Convention, in the USA District Court to enforce a $1.2 billion arbitration award it won in a tax dispute against India. Key points. About. The Convention on the Recognition and Enforcement of Foreign Arbitral Awards, also known as the New York Arbitration Convention, or the New York Convention, is one of the key instruments in international arbitration. Arbitration is a procedure in which a dispute is submitted, by agreement of the parties, to one or more arbitrators, an independent person/body, who make a binding decision on the dispute. It applies to the recognition and enforcement of foreign arbitral awards, and the referral by a court to arbitration. The convention was adopted by the United Nations, UN, following a diplomatic conference held in May and June 1958 at the UN headquarters in New York and entered into force on June 7, 1959. Parties to Convention. The convention has 166 state parties, countries. India is a party to the convention. Aim. The convention's principal aim is that foreign and non-domestic arbitral awards should not be discriminated against by courts asked to enforce them. It obliges contracting states to ensure foreign awards are recognized and generally capable of enforcement in their jurisdiction in the same way as domestic awards. To require courts of contracting states to uphold valid arbitration agreements and state court proceedings in respect of matters which the parties have agreed should be resolved by arbitration. By signing up to the convention, a state agrees that its courts will respect and enforce parties' agreements to arbitrate, and to recognize and enforce any resulting arbitral award in its jurisdiction subject to only very limited grounds for refusal. Coelacanth. YN News. Recently, a group of paleontologists have discovered fossils of coelacanth, a giant fish regarded as an iconic example of a living fossil. The discovered fossil of coelacanth is believed to be 66 million years old, belonging to the Cretaceous era. Key points. About. Coelacanths are elusive, deep-sea creatures, living in depths up to 2,300 feet below the surface. These were thought to have gone extinct with the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. But its discovery in 1938 started a debate about how this lobe-finned fish fits into the evolution of land animals. 2 species. There are only 2 known species of coelacanths, one that lives near the Comoros Islands off the east coast of Africa, and one found in the waters off Sulawesi, Indonesia. Living fossil. Living fossil is an organism that has remained unchanged from earlier geologic times, and whose close relatives are usually extinct. Other than coelacanth, horseshoe crab and ginkgo trees are examples of living fossils. However, in their new study, paleontologists have found that coelacanths gained 62 new genes through encounters with other species 10 million years ago. This suggests that they are actually evolving, albeit slowly. Protection status. IUCN status, critically endangered. Sulawesi coelacanth is listed as vulnerable. Site status, Appendix I. SANDIS, Government Instant Messaging System. YN News. The National Informatics Center, NIC, has launched an instant messaging platform called SANDIS on the lines of WhatsApp. NIC is under the aegis of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It provides network backbone and e-governance support to the central government, state governments, and UT administrations. Key points. SANDIS app. About. It is a government instant messaging system, GIMS, that can be used for official or casual use by any government employee or public user having a valid mobile no/email ID. Features. It offers features such as group making, broadcast message, message forwarding, and emojis. Although there is no option to transfer the chat history between 2 platforms, the chats on GIMS can be backed up to a user's email. The user will have to re-register as a new user in case they wish to change their registered email ID or phone number on the app. It allows a user to mark a message as confidential, which will allow the recipient to be made aware the message should not be shared with others. Significance. Ensures secure communication. The Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT-IN, and the Ministry of Home Affairs in April 2020 had issued an advisory to all government employees to avoid using platforms like Zoom for official communication over safety and privacy concerns. Promoting indigenous products. The launch of the app is also a part of the government strategy to push for use of India-made software so as to build an ecosystem of indigenously developed products. Welcome to Mera Class. What's in news? 17 February 2021. Why in news? Recently a chadar was